2, the 48th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. Currently, we're about to stream a game between St. Francis and Downers Grove South.
Good morning, and we are on day 4 of the 48th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic, live from York High School in Elmhurst, Illinois. My name is Charlie Specht.
I'm Joshua Melvin. We have a game between Downers Grove South and St. Francis here. Both of their final games here at the tournament.
That's going to be a quick 3 from Lorick right there. And that's no doubt. This is my 3rd Downers Grove South game of the tournament, Josh, and I've been really, really impressed. Coming into this tournament, not with the best of records and some losses to some teams I wouldn't have expected, but have really performed well. Took Lamont down to the wire, and then a dominant win yesterday. So could be an interesting matchup here.
And as you said, in a very exciting fashion. First team to score 80 points here at the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic.
Here's Francis inside. That's going to be number 30, only a freshman, Gavin Mueller. He's going to be the majority of scoring for this St. Francis team.
Great defender as well inside, as you can see, using his strength to push off. A little miscommunication, but gets lucky.
Yeah, and if you think you're seeing double, you aren't. Number 44, number 25 for Downers Grove South. Daniel and Justin Fateris, brothers, one a sophomore, one a junior. No seniors in this starting lineup for the Downers Grove South team, so a lot to look forward to. Almost a great finish there. That's going to be the older brother, Justin Fateris. Listed an inch taller than his younger brother. Might be a little bit out of spite there as they look they look about the same here, Josh.
Definitely. St. Francis coming in really struggling throughout the course of the tournament. Close win yesterday over Montini. Trying to look to flip a switch with this young squad. A sophomore and a freshman starting for them. Only one senior, Luke Ahern, number 3.
Tough little hook shot. Great finish right there. That's number 24, Aaron Cook, the junior. St. Francis out to a 1-point lead early. They're going to stick with the man defense. I've said it a few times. We've seen a lot of 2-3 and 3-1 defenses. Or, my apologies, 1-3-1 defenses played in this tournament. So, man defense a little bit unconventional. That's Freddie Coleman on the 3. Can't connect.
And as you can see, they emphasize rebounding a lot as they sag off on the weak side an exorbitant amount.
Francis can't connect on anything on the 3, but it'll remain Spartan ball.
As we've said, a very young team in St. Francis looking to rebuild a little bit after losing a ton of seniors, as well as TJ McMillan, who committed to Illinois this offseason to play center. I was on that stellar St. Francis football team. Last year went 27-9 and lost to Metamora in the state quarterfinals. Who went on to eventually lose in the state finals to Scarred Heart Griffin.
Yeah, definitely a little bit rougher of a start to the season for the St. Francis team. 4-5, but 3-1 in the Metro Suburban Conference, so definitely a little bit tougher competition here on this Tosh than they're used to in the regular season, which can be one of the reasons we've seen them struggle so much.
Yeah, playing much bigger schools. They'll come out of this and go into conference play, and their conference is one of the smaller, or conference of a lot of smaller schools in the suburban area.
And that's Viteris that missed a 3 on his last possession. Great block right there on the freshman. Downsgrove South usually pushes the pace after forcing a turnover, but a little bit of hiccup there by Potter. But he gets right back inside and finishes for the Mustangs.
Good dribble move and nice finish with beautiful touch off the glass.
Now both teams playing man-to-man defense, so we could see some really great matchups. We'll expect that more inside. Oh, and that's going to be a charge call on Gavin Mueller. Great job by the Mustangs right there. And
may or may not have been eavesdropping over some refs. They were telling me that a lot of the time the philosophy between charges and blocks are very different, but it's pretty consensus that if the shoulder hits in between the shoulders,
interesting,
that's going to be called a charge pretty much every time as long as the feet are pretty much set.
Another 3-point shot right there. That's the youngest Viteris. This is my third game, as I said earlier, for Downsgrove South. Haven't seen them shoot a lot of threes, but both of them attempted one early. Tough post hook right there. Can't connect. Good defense by Mueller. St. Francis out on the break quick. It's going to be Nico Quaranta. He's going to be running the point for Francis this game. Find an Ahern in the corner. Back to Quaranta. Quick 3. Just off the rim and house on the break for Downsgrove South. Just Viteris. Looked like he might have got hit in the face there on that shot, but no call. And St. Francis right back again in transition. Quaranta. Pump fakes the 3. Tipped away by Potter. Rebounds Viteris.
Nice effort from Viteris.
Potter for 3. Don't see that often.
That might be why.
Yeah, that could be why. Yeah, the two guards watching Downsgrove South so far in this tournament, the two guards in House and Potter, not really there to score. They're more there to distribute. They play some great defense, but they're looking to get the ball into the hands of Lorik and the two Viteris brothers, who have been the main scorers. Lorik exploded last game. Put up over 20 points, was 5 for 5 3-point shooting in the first half.
Rebound by, and then going to be a foul on number 21. That's going to be Colin White, who came into the game. Number 10, Dominic Marcantelli, who grabbed the rebound.
Yeah, Marcantelli, something I've noticed. Another player similar to House and Potter. Plays some really great defense. He's hit a few clutch threes for Downsgrove South, but certainly not known for his scoring, as we're going to get an off-ball foul, it looks like, on... Oh, my apologies. That's going to be a reach on St. Francis. There's Marcantelli at the point. Marcantelli actually shooting 50% from beyond the arc in this tournament. Oh, tough mid-range shot right there. Can't connect. St. Francis playing some good defense early on a Downsgrove South team that put up 80 points last game against Highland Park. Great mid-range right there. Potter to Lorik. Lorik must have been bleeding out of his nose earlier. He's got a gauze in there. Marcantelli, tough 3. Hits off the front rim. Francis really moving quick after rebounds, looking to push the pace. Great find inside and a great finish. That's going to be number 20, Will Leisen, the 6'2 senior. Potter, great move. Almost gets it ripped away.
Yeah, Potter really skilled with the ball.
Oh, Coleman, block shot. Man, St. Francis playing really impressive defense so far. Yeah, Josh, I came into this game favoring this Downs Grove South team. What's impressed you so far with St. Francis?
They've really changed it up on defense. They've started to become more aggressive on the ball, realizing that teams are shooting very well against them so far in the tournament, not having one of the better defenses. And they're just coming out with higher effort, higher energy, trying to turn around their fortunes going into conference play, as at this point you're very tired at the end of the week, and especially when you've had a week like St. Francis had, allowing over 50% on field goals on defense and almost 40% from three. And they call this the 50-40-90 club, where if you're extremely efficient shooting-wise, that's where you want to be. That's an excellent efficiency. And right now teams are shooting as a whole absolutely stellar efficiency against St. Francis, so they've really clamped down on defense here.
Yeah, really impressive performance so far. Already 4 fouls, though. As for Downs Grove South, the toughest last name I've had to pronounce in this tournament, that's going to be number 32, Brandon Amanimapong, to check in for Downs Grove South. Funny story, yesterday when I called their game against Highland Park, he was wearing those white shorts, but donning the blue jersey, got some blood on his blue shorts, so had to switch. Nonetheless, looking clean today. As St. Francis, again, pushing fast after a rebound, not taking their time. Almost a steal by House there. That's going to be a 3. Connects. That's number 10, Patrick Spahn. Haven't said his name yet today. 6'3" junior. This Francis team really young, Josh.
Definitely, yeah. So look for this team to come back and have a really good season like they did last year in the upcoming few years. As this year, it's going to be kind of more just getting experience of these players and try and get them in environments like the Tosh and the state playoffs and get dealt with pressure and hard defenses like Downers Grove South has.
And a great finish there by House. Don't see him attack the rim like that often, but really athletic there. Great find inside by White. That's going to be number 32, Anthony Quaranta. I'm not sure if it's a twin, but he does have a brother, Nico.
Both sophomores.
Both sophomores, so you might assume twins, I would think. House working on Anthony Quaranta now. Tough fadeaway at the buzzer, can't connect. Really impressive first half by the St. Francis team. That bench exploded at the end of the first. They lead Downers Grove South by 8. Josh, give us a little bit of a recap on that first half and what St. Francis did so well.
Well, St. Francis really fought really well. Both teams so far are 1-2 in the Tosh, looking for a 500 record in the Tosh, which is pretty good and what you really want to come out of the Tosh with. As long as you come out 500 against such a tough field of teams, that's going to be pretty good for your program. And we talked with Coach Zach Miller of Downers Grove South, and they said they had one of the hardest schedules leading up to the tournament, playing 5 amazing teams in Oswego East, Naperville North, Lyons Township, and Hinsdale Central, all very, very good teams and Downers Grove now.
Man, wow, I was about to point that out too. That's crazy.
5 teams at one point were ranked in the top 25.
Wow.
And all of them, unfortunately, losses. And so they've played a super tough schedule so far, and they're just looking to bounce back from last year where they only had 5 wins. They're looking to match that total today to get to 5. But St. Francis has been holding steady, and a really good job by their coach. And offensively, they haven't really been doing well, as you can see, with only 15 points, but some great passing, like we saw there recently by White, has opened up some windows down in driving lanes. So currently, all bench except for number 24, Aaron Cook, who's one of the leaders on the St. Francis team.
And a little bit more about that Downers Grove South team. That first game against Lamont, they were in control for about 3.5 quarters. So that's a Lamont team that was undefeated. Of course, fell last night to a good Bolingbrook team. It's It's a tough shot right there by Justin Fateris, but Downsgrove South played that Lamont team really, really tough. And I was really impressed because I came into that game thinking Lamont was going to handle them, but no. Led going into half. Lost by a small margin, but a lot to be hopeful for this Downsgrove South team. As Justin gets the first one to go.
Yeah, that would make it 6 teams that they've played this year that were ranked in Michael O'Brien's Super 25, the top 25 teams in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen that from any other teams in this tournament.
No. The only closest team would have been St. Patrick, who ended up playing very well down the stretch, beating 3 straight teams who were ranked in that top 25 before heading into the Tosh. Unfortunately, ran into Rolling Meadows, and that buzzsaw of a team was able to take them apart. But then they, last night, just dismantled Waubonsie Valley in a blowout.
Yeah, and we saw Waubonsie Valley fall pretty hard to Conant today. And, of course, St. Patrick taking on the host York at 1:30. That'll be right after this in the Campbell Gym, so make sure you stay tuned. But St. Francis has some business to take care of as they connect from the free throw line. A 9-point lead now. That's House. Needs to create something for these Mustangs. Marcantelli. Daniels Fateris. Oh, in and out.
Absolutely nothing going in for the Mustangs.
Oh, my goodness, Josh.
And everything going in for St. Francis. Another timeout here by Zach Miller, trying to get his team to regroup, as it seems like they can't even make anything. That was a good look from Daniel Fateris. You know, open. He's taller than a lot of players, so him rising above creates vertical space for him to be able to get that shot off with not a real challenge, not even a hand in his face, and it's just around and out. And that's kind of been the story of the game for this offense for the Mustangs.
Yes, Fateris brothers taking a lot more threes than I expected. Of course, have not been able to execute at all. And this St. Francis team has gotten hot. I was really unimpressed with this St. Francis team. But right now, man, they're handling a Downsgrove South team that I thought was a lot better than their record showed. And of course they can be. We're only a minute and a half into the second quarter, so of course anything can still happen, especially in the Tosh. But St. Francis with a 12-point lead. And we'd like to take this moment to thank our sponsors. Today's York Sports Network stream is sponsored by the following Elmer small businesses: Kelly Stetler of Compass Realty, Elmer's Camera, which is located on Spring Road, family-owned and community-loved, and finally the Sutter Law Group for all your personal injury defense litigation. And as we come back, St. Francis holding that 12-point lead. Downsgrove South needs to create something on offense. Lorick will check into the game for Marcantelli. I said earlier, one of the better shooters I've seen in this tournament.
Smart idea by Zach Miller, because if nothing's going in, get your best shooter on the floor and hope he gets something going. That's not a great start out of the timeout, though.
And something I'd like to bring up, this St. Francis team has played about the last 6-7 minutes without their best player in Gavin Mueller. And he's going to check back into the game now. So St. Francis momentum building right now.
The momentum building with the bench, and that's, you know, something that's really important to try and win games, is you want those contributors, especially in high school after a 4-day tournament. As you can see, no warm-ups are left on for any of the St. Francis players, as they're all going to get in here as players are tired, worn out, and hurt.
Ahern for three, connects. Man, everything is falling right now for the Spartans. And something to point out, too, this Downsgrove South, a school a lot bigger than St. Francis. Of course, St. Francis a private school. Nonetheless, Downsgrove South. And I'm sure we're pulling up the enrollment right now. It's going to take a second, but that's going to be a foul. Daniel Fateris will go to the line for two. Yeah, Downsgrove South with an enrollment of 2,700. And St. Francis with an enrollment of 695. So Downsgrove South dwarfs them.
Definitely in terms of size. And Downsgrove South, honestly, a much bigger school than you would think. The West Suburban Conference has 2 divisions, the South and the Gold. The majority of the Gold division is the smaller high schools, like Hinsdale South or Proviso East or Willowbrook, who are smaller in comparison to their counterparts in the Silver Division. But Downers Grove South, the lone team that would be in 8A for football and 4A for basketball.
Oh, and Lorick tries to draw the charge there on Mueller, but can't. And a little bit of frustration right there by Coach Zach Miller. Not shocking. This Downers Grove South team trailing by 16 early. Did not expect this, Josh.
Neither did I. I was expecting at least a close one, and I was actually expecting in favor of Downers Grove South, as we've said multiple times, an extremely tough schedule for the Mustangs so far. Zach Miller wanted their team to be tested early, and they have. Young team that in the future can maybe take on those top 25 teams and win a few of them. But as of right now, they got to worry about taking care of the Spartans from St. Francis. Making their free throws is going to be good. As they say, you watch one go in, it makes every other one easier. And there's two goes in for Marcantelli.
Yeah, and free throws have been such a struggle in this tournament by everybody. It's been kind of unbelievable to watch. Seemingly all teams in the Tosh have really struggled with getting those giveaway points at the charity stripe. And we're going to get a timeout before it would look like a foul call on Lorick. St. Francis leads by 14 with 5 minutes left in this second quarter. Ahern to inbound for the Spartans. Lead by 14. Quick trap by Coleman and Lorick, but St. Francis able to beat it quickly. Man, everything is falling.
We'll have to get those halftime stats and see what their shooting percentage is, but it's bound to be above that 50-40 threshold that is considered extremely efficient.
Oh, a great play right there by Potter. Some scores stepping up for Downers Grove South is the Terrace brothers, who have really dominated the stat sheet for Downers Grove South. Not as effective so far today.
Yeah, combined of 2 points between the two of them, each getting one on free throws. And the major difference for Wheaton or St. Francis against Downers Grove South is their three-point shooting. Going into today, they were shooting a whopping 9 for 44 from three, which equates to 21% from three.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
No.
It's not going to get it done. But St. Francis, one of the more efficient scoring performances I've seen so far in this tournament through the first half, and still 4:21 remaining. Here's Cook. Quick three by Francis.
They cannot miss.
Wow. That's number 10, Patrick Spahn, Jr.
It might be those challenges, as we've seen. There's been multiple times where Downers Grove South defender has been in the area, but not necessarily really challenging the shot whatsoever.
Yeah, and Downers Grove South, a team that's played really good defense throughout the tournament. Yeah, I mean, holding three, at least from three-point percentage, and they forced some 4 3-point percentage shooters. 26% in the tournament. Oh, great finish by Coleman right there after the turnover. Lead cuts to 15, but St. Francis, electric so far, shooting the basketball.
Definitely, yeah. Downers Grove South typically holds teams to below 27% from three here at the Jag Tosh, but today St. Francis has been dominating from there.
Here's Cook. Oh, tossed away by Francis. Playing a little bit frantic here on these last few possessions. Can Downers Grove South execute? Potter, tough floater, too short. Rebounds Fateris, and one. Momentum shifting in the way of the Mustangs. Fateris for a chance to execute a three-point play here. And that's Mark and Telly and House to check in for the Mustangs. So Potter played a few good possessions there, going to check out. Francis still without their freshman. Hasn't played as much as I would have thought so far. As we get a little peek in the door from Daniel Dalick and Adam Hardick of the York Dukes basketball team. Again, they will take on St. Patrick at 1:30.
Get some pregame pizza in here.
Pre-game pizza. Is that efficient before the game? Not sure.
I mean, it would depend how you carry pizza in your stomach, but theoretically, carb loading before the game is decent. But typically, you'd like to do that the night before.
Yeah.
Not necessarily 20 minutes prior to tip-off.
Tough floater there by St. Francis. Man, they're dominating these offensive boards. Passes up the three, into the corner. No way. Oh. Rebounds Fateris. Lead down to 12 now, Coleman. Thought he might take the three. No. Going to go to the oldest Fateris. Here's Justin. Gets inside, draws the foul. To the line for two. Chance to cut the lead to 10. Downers Grove South moving in the right direction right now.
Definitely, they've started to attack the basket finally and not just settle for mid-range floaters all the time. Yes, we've said that they've been relatively open, but a layup is always better than a mid-ranger.
Yeah, and I like to see, especially the bigger guys, one of my pet peeves, and I'm no good at basketball, Josh. I'm no good, but I prefer if you've got the height advantage, you attack the rim, not fade away. Get there, at least get a chance to draw that foul, chance for a three-point play instead of falling back. And Downers Grove South started to do that late in this second quarter. With 2 minutes remaining, the lead cut to 10. Here's Ahern.
Definitely something. Trust me, I've heard a lot as a big man inside for basketball. That's what they always say. Go up strong. You'll get the foul. Never fade away. You're just making the shot harder for yourself for no reason unless you're Dirk Nowitzki, in which case
you can do what you want.
Yeah, you could do what you want. Is you shoot 55% from those mid-range fadeaways. Otherwise, go straight up. And I'll be trying to do that for the Wichita State Shockers and Y-Ball this year.
Y-Ball does get competitive in Elmhurst. Hopefully York Sports Network will stream some of those games for you, interested viewers at home.
That would be a lot of fun. They are happening here in the Campbell and South Gym of York.
And I talked earlier, a lot of history on this Campbell court. And a lot of that belongs to some stellar Y-Ball performances. Francis here with 1:30 left. Hold their 10-point lead. Another Francis three-pointer. Off the back iron.
Starting to regress to the mean is St. Francis.
100%.
Missing 4 in a row there from 3.
Yeah, momentum definitely shifted in the Mustangs' direction, but a little bit of an errant play right there by Daniel Fateris. Loses control of the rebound, and Spartans with another chance.
What a scream yesterday.
Thank you, Panioti. Appreciate it. From the free throw line, rattles in and out, but Aaron Cook going to go to the line for 2 shots. Love the support we get from York Dukes basketball. I'm joined right now next to me, Adam Hardick, as well. I know I talked about Panioti already.
Checking out those Downers Grove South stats.
I'm sure they're a little bit shocked too. Downers Grove South getting dominated early by the St. Francis team.
But starting to come back. Lead was as high as 18. Now it's down to 11.
And that's what's important when you're trailing like that. Trying to go into half with some momentum on the upslope, but
They are here. A 3 would bring it within 10, and that's where you want it to be. Single digits going into the half would be stellar for the Mustangs and really give them momentum to fight for a comeback in the second half.
Vateris finds House in the corner. Has to levitate, so can't take the open 3. Potter to Lorick. Lorick, nothing. Not the shooting performance I expected from Lorick already early on, but only the first half. Oh, and a travel call there. Looks like it would have been a charge anyways to me, but that'll be Downers Grove South basketball. Since we have a quick opportunity, today York Sport Network stream is sponsored by the following Elmer's small businesses. Kelly Steller of Compass Realty, Elmer's Camera, which is located on Spring Road, family owned and community loved. And finally, the Sutter Law Group for all your personal injury and defense litigation. Here's House. Oh, almost a strong finish inside. Can't handle it. St. Francis basketball, but they toss it right away. Potter steps up for the 3. Off the backboard. No. St. Francis basketball. Thought Vateris might come up with it. And you would think Francis would hold for last shot here. Quaranta to his brother. Ahern, got to take the 3. Blocked by Vateris. Potter just launches it. Is it good? No. It's not.
Instantly noticed.
Would have been crazy, though. But no, not good. Josh, St. Francis really impressive here in this first half.
Definitely. Shot well from 3 is the main thing here from the Spartans, going a certain amount in a row.
Yeah.
Making it. Making the 3 ball, and then they went cold at the second half. But thankfully for them, at the same time, Downers Grove South wasn't able to capitalize on any opportunities that the Spartans gave them.
Yeah, and this is a St. Francis team only averaging 46 points per game on the season at the 32-point mark. But Downers Grove South, momentum definitely swung in their direction late in the second quarter. So will be an interesting second half. Can Downers Grove South mount a comeback? I'm Charlie Specht. I'm joined with Josh Melvin. We'll be right back with some second half Jack Tosh action. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back for some second half Jack Tosh action. St. Francis leads Downers Grove South by 12. A really impressive performance by St. Francis in that first half, Josh.
And yeah, definitely. And starting out 0 for 1 there is Downers Grove South, and that's really the only place you got to look, and that's the total field goal percentage for both teams. St. Francis shooting 52% from the field. Meanwhile, Downers Grove South shooting 19.4.
That's got to be one of the lower field goal percentages in the first half I've seen in this tournament. That was Aaron Cook on the last possession. It's a nice fadeaway for Francis. Lead grows to 14. House gets into the lane. Man, he's done a great job tonight. As I said earlier, not usually a scorer for Downers Grove South, but has had 2 great finishes inside for them. That's Quaranta. Quick dish to the corner. There he is again. Aaron Cook is cooking right now for this St. Francis Spartan team.
Playing very well. Leading them in scoring with 10.
Great defense on Spateris right there and gets the rebound.
Nothing can fall right now for...
Well, that fell out of bounds. Maybe got a little bit too antsy there, a little bit too excited. Cook turns it over and Downers Grove South ball. House to Spateris in the corner. Spateris posted up on Mueller on the block.
We're looking for him down low.
They're trying to work on the freshman. Here's Potter. Tries to spin inside, loses it, regains it. House for 3. Oh, House. All right. Yeah. Jalen House, 7 points on the day. So far, most impressive for this Mustangs team. He's picked up some of the slack that we didn't expect the Spateris brothers to have in this game, and Francis, offensive rebound there.
Good job by Cook to avoid the charge.
Great move right there, but can't finish.
Wide open, virtually a layup at that distance. Misses it.
Spateris to Spateris there. Here's Cook. Oh, great move on Spateris. Blows right by him, but his doppelganger's there to clean it up. Here comes House on the break. Swatted. Oh! Thought it was a block there, but that's going to be a foul call. That's number 23, Dylan Stone. Or Stone, my apologies. Jalen House to the line. Chance to grow his scoring numbers. He's sitting at 7 right now.
Leading the Mustangs. And as you said, not the expected player to be doing that.
And this is the first free throw. As Marcantelli will check in. Lorick exiting the court, visibly frustrated. And that's going to be number 20 for St. Francis, Will Leisen, the senior.
Downers Grove South now 8 for 10, or 8 for 11 from the field, from free throws. So being quite efficient in the opportunities they've gotten.
Yeah, something you need him out of comeback is not leaving 3 points like that off the board. Cook inside. Had the layup, but before there's going to be a block call on Daniel Spateris. There's Potter to the rim. Strong finish by the guard. Potter and House stepping up right now for this Mustangs team. The lead diminishes to 6 for St. Francis. Mueller sets the screen on Potter. Spateris and Potter trap. Thrown away by St. Francis. Here come the Mustangs. House to Daniel Spateris. Back to Jalen. Jalen, tough Euro step inside. We're going to get a charge. That's a big play right there. That's number 20, Will Leisen. He switches the momentum. Seemed like it was going in the Mustangs' direction. But it'll be Francis ball as they trail by 6. Leisen to bring it up now for the Spartans. Ahern guarded by Justin Spateris. Oh, mismatch. Mueller on Potter. And Potter does not draw the charge. You think against a man that undersized against Mueller, he'd try and draw the charge down on the low block, but can't.
Definitely was a little late on that. He had his feet set initially, tried to just absorb the back down, but with that height difference, it didn't really matter. Too late on the attempt to draw the charge. That's a specialty all guards add to their defensive game. Marcus Smart, Kyle Lowry, two of the most famous at it. Both very good at drawing the charge because then with their height difference between the bigs that are down there, that's really the only way they can play efficient defense is get them, A, a foul, B, change in possession.
Potter now to bring it down for the Mustangs. Francis leads, sits at 8. Oh, great move by Justin Spateris. Down on the low block. Mustangs
footwork.
trying to come back here. Playing about as aggressive of a defense as I've seen at the half court. Mueller trapped by Justin. Oh, great find by Mueller. That's Leisen. He'll connect.
And that's why he's going to be the center of St. Francis's quote-unquote rebuild here as they try and get back to the state quarterfinals and beyond. After what's seeming like going to be a tough year here for the Spartans.
Quick 3 by House. And yeah, again, Mueller, that's number 30 on St. Francis, big man. Only a freshman, so we'll see him a few more times at this Jack Tosh tournament, Josh.
Definitely.
Oh. Thrown away, and that'll be Downers Grove South basketball. Francis a little bit errant there, but still hold an 8-point lead. We're going to see a return of the Quaranta brothers, both on the court now. And that's also going to be number 21, Colin White, to check in for Will Leisen, who's done a lot with his minutes so far. Trying to get Lorick open for 3. They can't. Coolman looked like he might have had a chance there, but no. House hits Lorick. What can Lorick do? Oh,
He can throw it away.
Quaranta. Oh, great find. Kicks to the corner. There's Cook. Let him cook, baby. No. Spateris to Potter. Potter has a chance to push it to Coleman here in the corner, but won't. Drives inside on 3 men.
Looks like Cook cooked up a meal that Russell Wilson would cook.
Can't be that good then.
No.
Can't be that good. After the season Russell Wilson's having, can't be that good.
Hey. He finally tied
The amount of bathrooms in his house, the
the
touchdowns he's thrown.
passes. A race for the century. Came down to the wire, week 16.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst stat that's ever existed, I would think.
And then he has to get paid another $250 million of dollars. $250 million.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right terminology, right?
Yeah,
$250 million.
you know.
$250 million dollars? I think so.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough off the tongue. Downers Grove South switching to a 2-3 defense here. Oh, is it a 2-3 defense? I can't tell. We got to get some motion.
It's a ball pressing man.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
It
ball
was-
pressing 2-3.
It was hard to tell from this angle, but yes.
Definitely an interesting zone you don't typically see. They typically change up the zone to like a 1-2-2 or a 1-3-1 or a rotating 1-3-1 where you rotate in and out of multiple different formations. Definitely not a 2-3 as your typical press defense.
Yeah, the 1-3-1 has been extreme. Oh, great find right there by Quaranta. Mueller, the freshman. No. You would think definitely not the most efficient from beyond the 3-point line, being that big. Yeah, Mueller, only his 3rd 3-point attempt of the entire tournament. Can't connect there. Potter. Oh, Svateris gets ripped away, but no. Potter and House stay with it. Might get a timeout here, and you will.
Smart timeout. 3 timeouts remaining. Well, now 2 after that one. But St. Francis has all 5 remaining. I'm surprised their coach, Aaron Dewar, has not called any timeouts yet to try and regain his team as they cut the lead in half. It was at 14 going into halftime. Now it's 7.
Yeah, and I think that's not as much as his team at fault. Downers Grove South starting to make those shots like we expected. You know, they were a team coming into this I think was favored. First half, shots just not falling. Getting those open looks, but shots just not falling. In the second half, they've really started to execute. Svateris brothers getting a little bit more active. Lorik, the shooter we expected coming into this game, has been able to execute from beyond the three-point arc, so could expect that to change here. And he's guarded by Cook, who's had a really great game so far for the Spartans.
And as we said in the first half, both teams kind of regressing to their mean throughout the course of the tournament. Downers Grove South no longer shooting the putrid 20% from the field. Example there, Daniel Svateris with the 3 ball to make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, the Svateris brothers have really tried to shoot that three-pointer this game. Something they don't do a lot. Finally executed there. Here's Cook. Tough shot at the elbow. Connects. Man, he has been good today for the Spartans. Up to 12.
Leading scorer in the game as a whole.
And that's going to be on the floor. That's going to be called a number 21, Colin White. A little bit confused there on the call. Nonetheless, it'll remain Downers Grove South basketball. Yeah. They're going to put Lorik on the near corner. Expect him to maybe wrap around, get open on the three-point line.
Yeah, watch for a screen. One thing I've really liked in those inbounds plays of the tournament so far is the ball's lost by House. And that's the player they want to get the ball will set an off-ball screen to a player they don't necessarily want to pass the ball into. So then the 2 players get distracted in the communication and the screener is left open. So both teams should take advantage of the miscommunications of high school defense.
Yeah, and I was talking to, this was after York's game against Conan. I wasn't only talking to just a great basketball mind, but just a great mind in general. Scott Hardick, who's done so much for York Sports Network and honestly this entire tournament as a whole, work in the hospitality room, told me defensive basketball comes down to one thing: making players look away from the actual play. Where can you make the eyes? Where can you diverge eyes? So you're kicking down into the post as a full court or a half court shot. Does not convert for the Mustangs, but as you were saying, Josh, you're screening away from the play, trying to create a diversion, right? And that's how you play good offense, because you're getting that defense to look where the ball isn't.
Yeah, and that's something that certain teams, won't name names, but certain teams does not do on offense whatsoever, and that's off-ball movement from players. You know, these kids are in high school, they're young, they're used to doing conditioning, so put them through it, because if I was a high school basketball coach, I would want constant movement throughout the course of the entire game on defense and offense. I want heavy switching. I want heavy movement, a lot of off-ball screens, a lot of on-ball screens. I want pretty much everyone moving 24/7 while they're on the court, because at that point you're going to tire out the other team, as well as you're just going to get open looks. It's a matter of, these are teams in high schools, and so far none of them are, and right now not very many are good enough defensively to communicate, nor do they have the athletes or the size to be able to stop that if you do that consistently. So every team should be doing that and should be really pushing the pace. And even if you're a half-court team, you can just still implement a lot of movement, and not even necessarily plays, but just say, if you're not doing anything, you're doing it wrong, because if you're not doing anything, either you should be getting a screen or setting a screen.
Yeah, and I think where that was made a little bit famous, great basketball movie, Coach Carter, the conditioning, brutal. Now, I don't think Samuel L. Jackson will make a good basketball coach now, but he put his players through grueling work, conditioning, and it paid off. Just throwing that out there. for anyone who's, looking to start their coaching career, Coach Carter. Good film to check out.
Yeah, probably don't verbally abuse your players as much as
physical torture, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little much, but in this day and age, as the adults love to say, kids are getting soft.
Yep.
What a strong move from Svateris.
Yeah, definitely one of the tougher last names in this tournament. Got to get used to it. Always the biggest trouble when announcing games.
Especially for me.
Yeah. How can I mess up this kid's family last name?
And how can I make all of his family disappointed that they're going to have to listen to an entire tournament of one kid just saying, in reference to last year, Billy Batch incorrectly.
Yeah,
instead of Billy Bach.
You say it once and you kind of build confidence, and it's like build confidence in it. It's like that for the rest of the tournament. So it's either right or it's either wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you look more professional when you're confident, and then you just stick with it. But then also when a family member and a fan comes up to you, they're like, I was watching the game last night, and yeah, my son's name is pronounced this way. And you're like, oh.
Always
not a great
disappointing.
feeling.
Well, great play there by Potter, but he's going to get called for a foul on Quaranta. Close call there.
And the coaches in unison put their hands on the head. Not very happy with that foul call, but only the first for Potter, so not in foul trouble, but was an opportunity to make it a one-possession game.
Yeah, and this Downers Grove South bench, a fun bench to watch. Very, very livid. They get excited.
They get active.
Coach Miller, definitely a character. He's fun to watch, yeah. Fun to watch. Here's Cook, had a great day so far. Great defense by Potter. Here's Mueller. Has Cook wide open in the corner. Too strong.
And that's something Mueller's going to need to get better at through the course of his high school career, is finding those passers. As a bigger dude, coming in as a freshman. Man. Last year, this guy was in middle school, and he's coming in at 6'6". He's going to need to figure out he's going to need to get better at passing, because they're going to double team a lot, and there was a great opportunity, but.
Yeah, hopefully get to see him in the Jack Tosh over the next 3 years. And look at a guy that's 6'6" his freshman year. He can grow, Josh. He's not done growing.
No. I think we can all say that we've grown a bit since our freshman year.
Yes, I would think so. And he's definitely, you look at the Svateris brothers, they're a little bit longer, lankier. Mueller has some muscle on him. He's built.
Definitely.
He's built. I'm not 100% sure if he did play for the St. Francis football team. I wouldn't be shocked. But he's a lot more built than these Svateris brothers. So clearly a great athlete, as Potter gets the first free throw to go. Really the lone senior that gets playing time for this Downers Grove South team. Freddie Kuhlman will check in for Lorick. And Potter gets a second to go. Lead cut to 4. 6 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter.
Mueller with it now.
Mueller playing really high up. Trying to set a screen for him there. Tough mid-range. Can't connect. Good offensive rebounds. Man, that's Will Eisen. When he's gotten minutes, I said it earlier, when he's gotten minutes, he's really executed for the St. Francis team coming off the bench. 4 points and 4 fouls, but a really loud 4 points. And a chance to make it 6 here with 2 free throws.
Got to convert on these free throws if they're going to want to pull out the win. Three ball, no good. Rebound off of Svateris and going back to St. Francis.
And we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to day 4 of the Jack Tosh Championship Friday tomorrow. We'll have a semifinal matchup of St. Ignatius and Lyons Township in Bolingbrook and Rolling Meadows tonight, as, St. Francis smokes the open free throw, smokes the open layup, smokes another one. Clearly some disappointment. That was Leisen and Mueller, but Leisen will go to the line for 2 shots. Gets the first one to go. Lorick checks in for Justin Svateris. Or my apologies, Daniel Svateris. I knew I was going to mess it up once this game. Leisen gets both to go. That's big. Lead grows to 7 with 5:30 left in the fourth. Potter needs to create something for this Mustangs team. Lorick trying to get open for 3, followed by Cook. Here's Coleman. To Potter. This man defense for St. Francis doing its job so far today. House, great move. Hits Potter in the corner. Potter for 3, too strong. Oh, that's going to be out on Mueller. Thought he saved the play, but no, it'll remain with Downers Grove South. And Svateris going to check right back in for Kuhlman. So definitely a bigger lineup here, the starting lineup for this Downers Grove South team. Could expect that for the next 5 minutes, Josh.
Definitely trying to protect trying to get inside, get some easy buckets down low.
Potter's Svateris. Svateris, tough drive, loses it. Quaranta. Oh, looked like ripped away by Potter. Potter's had a few of those. He's played some really strong, aggressive defense, so not shocked.
Yeah, that's the issue with playing defense the way he does. It's very risky, and it depends on the ref mainly for if they're going to call it close or they're going to let him play a bit. Potter would thrive more in a let him play a bit sort of ref crew, but this one's kept it tight all day. It's both teams, or one team's in the bonus, one team's a foul away.
Yeah, and there's definitely some frustration on this Downers Grove South bench for some calls, but of course, you never know what you can't see, right? You never know. So, second free throw. Can't connect. Lead only 8 here with 4:30 left. Game not out of reach, Josh.
Definitely not. And there's always 4 things true in life: life, death, taxes, and coaches being mad at the referees.
House. Oh. Almost would have been another huge answer from him. Great play by Cook to keep it in. Quaranta heavily pressured again by Potter. Potter's had one great game for this Downers Grove South team. Not the player I expected to step up for them, but really has. But Josh, St. Francis still controlling this game. Lead decreased, but still controlling it.
Definitely in full control here. 8-point lead, 4 minutes remaining. If their defense keeps playing the way they do, they don't need to hit their shots, as they haven't been hitting their shots here in the second half. But their defense has really stepped up and been playing well. That communication has worked well, and they've been able to shut down Downers Grove South again after Downers Grove South went on a little run coming out of halftime.
Yeah, and definitely one of the more faster-paced games in this tournament. Seen a lot of slower-paced games. This one really quick. Teams moving up and down the court really, really fast. So definitely entertaining, but efficiency on Downers Grove South side has not been where I know they want it to be. Francis to inbound. Mueller, the center, and catch the inbound. Oh, quick trap by Downers Grove South. They're able to break it right away. Oh, and that's going to be a foul. It looked like House might have got ball there, but he's going to get called for a shooting foul. Leisen to the line. Leisen's been at the free throw stripe a few times tonight.
Yeah, definitely St. Francis here that was going up. So now they'll have an opportunity to get free points. And as you were saying earlier, if they want to hold on to the lead, they're going to need to take advantage of the free throw.
It's called that for a reason, right, Josh? Called that for a reason.
Because you should be shooting 100%, but it's the mental game that causes you not to. Is I'm sure all these players are very proficient at practicing their free throws and making a bunch of their free throws in practice. but it's all the mental game and the pressure.
And exhaustion, I'm sure, in a game, too, starts to set in. I mean, both teams' starting lineups in the game right now. Except for, my apologies, that's Will Leisen. He's going to stay in the game. Not shocked. He's played really well so far. Soteris loses it on Mueller. Scrap for the ball. Lorick, diving play, but it will remain Spartan basketball. Leisen holding his left wrist there. Clear a little bit shaken up. Kuhlman will check back in for Daniel Soteris. They've kind of switched back and forth a lot over the last 2 minutes. I think they've both checked out twice over the course of like 90 seconds, so might just be a defensive, offensive substitution there. Not something you see often in basketball. Oh, wow. Big break here for Downers Grove South.
Dylan Stone stepped on the line, causing a turnover.
That's the first time I've seen that this tournament, I think, Josh. And I've seen a lot this tournament.
Yes, we've seen a lot of games and a lot of different things. I've seen that a few times, though, in the South Gym. Those early games sometimes can get a bit sloppy whenever you're waking up at, especially if you're a team that's traveling from far away. You're waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning to really get ready for the game at 8:30 here at York High School. So a few sloppy plays over there early in the South Gym, but it's just one where it's a mental concentration and actually lack thereof leads to plays like that.
Yeah, and for those who aren't aware, York, located in Elmhurst, Illinois, about 20 minutes outside the city of Chicago. Both of these schools, Downers Grove South and St. Francis. St. Francis located in Wheaton. Not too bad of a trip for either team. Not too bad. So
no, Downers Grove South about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast you drive. Recommendation, stay within legal limits.
Within the 15-20 minute mark, we would suggest. No quicker than that. But you'll have some schools, Stagg and Leo, for example, who faced off yesterday in the tournament. Long trips.
Or Minooka and Yorkville, both of them, far drives.
And speaking of far drives, St. Patrick, a CCL school, will take on the Dukes of York right after this in the Campbell Gym. Make sure you stay tuned for that.
Yeah, St. Patrick, a historically great basketball team that's really played a tough schedule and can really pick apart teams, so the Dukes are going to need to stay disciplined, as this is 3 straight extremely tough games for the Dukes, and they've really started to come into their own. They only lost by 10 to Bolingbrook, who's an absolutely amazing team, and if it weren't for the Dukes missing around 90% of their shots down the stretch, they would have been even closer, possibly even challenged Bolingbrook for the win. And that's a horrible matchup for the Dukes, as Bolingbrook seemingly has an endless supply of 6'8" dudes to come at the Dukes. As a mystery there from Soteris, but he gets his rebound.
Oh, great move there, baseline. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we've been a little bit off topic for the past few minutes, but this lead is cut down to 5 for St. Francis, and this trap by Downers Grove South seems like it's causing a little bit of problems. There's Ahern. Oh, gets it over. A lot of 10-second calls from the parents behind me. Good awareness. Maybe a little bit more awareness than the players. How about St. Francis?
About to get a holding penalty. Not the typical holding penalty in
football that I'm used to, yes.
But if you hold the ball without moving for 5 seconds, that's a foul.
I can't believe I wasn't aware of that, Josh. I didn't know. So that's kind of how they've tried to battle the shot clock situation, not having a shot clock. That's just what I'm assuming.
In high school, it might be a rule in the NBA. I don't remember. Typically, players in the NBA are skilled enough dribblers where they don't have to just hold the ball. But if you watch the ref on the sideline closest to where they're going to be counting, and that's because they aren't dribbling and making sure that foul is not committed by St. Francis. So good, smart timeout there, as Will Leisen was not aware in the moment and nearly cost St. Francis a possession.
Yeah. Well, you learn something new every day, so I apologize to the viewers for not knowing that. Oh, Leisen almost loses it right to the rim. Oh, Potter rips it away. He finally gets one without a foul call. Here comes Downers Grove South, 2:30 remaining. To House in the corner. Can the guard step up? Off the front rim. Rebound Mueller. Here comes Cook, trapped. Launches it down court and turns it over. Downers Grove South catching a break there after the missed 3 by House. Clearly some exhaustion seeping in for this Downers Grove South team. Svateris, open three. Short again. That front rim, pesky for this Mustang team. Liza turns it over. Downers Grove South getting break after break. Lorick, almost one of the more athletic finishes I've seen. And definitely one of the crazier sequences in this tournament. Lorick gets to the line for 2 shots.
Definitely. This game reminiscent of last night's nightcap between Bolingbrook and Lamont, where neither team seemingly really wanted to win the game.
Correct,
Both
yes.
of them were just throwing away chances. It happens here. 3 straight turnovers for St. Francis. 4 straight missed baskets that were open.
Yep.
You had the open corner 3 from House. Multiple 3-point attempts from...
Josh loses his pen.
I like to talk with my hands, so sometimes everything goes flying. But multiple 3-point attempts from the older Svateris brother. And then Lorick got fouled, but that wasn't even really close to going in. And then he misses the free throw there.
Still a 2-possession game. Big free throw, cannot connect. I like to point out, Lamont wasn't only just throwing away a game the last night. They were kicking away the game. And an over and back call on St. Francis. A team playing frantic.
And not really playing cleanly. 4 straight turnovers for St. Francis, and a timeout to talk it over as they have a chance to bring it within 1 here. If you're either team's coach, Charlie, what are you saying to your team? Particularly St. Francis after the hectic.
Yeah, really quick though, before we get to that, today's George Sports Network stream is sponsored by the following Elmer small businesses: Kelly Steller of Compass Realty, Elmer's Camera, which is located on Spring Road, family owned and community loved. And finally, the Sutter Law Group for all your personal injury defense litigation. YSN wants to thank all of our amazing sponsors. But to answer your question, Josh, if I'm the St. Francis coach, I'm sitting everyone down and just telling them to take a deep breath. Because this is a good Downers Grove South team. You talked about it. They've been tested all year. But if I'm St. Francis, I'm telling them, sit down, take a deep breath. They're still in control in this game. They have a 4-point lead. And I know we've talked a lot about Downers Grove South and what they've really done well in this fourth. But St. Francis doing just enough, holding a 2-possession lead. I think if they take a deep breath, if they slow everything down, they're in the bonus. They're going to the line on a foul. And with how aggressive Downers Grove South defense has been playing, you can expect that. At the free throw line, again, deep breath, calming down, executing at the free throw line, and they can put this game out of reach in seemingly a score and a stop on defense.
Exactly. And, if I were the coach, I'd be telling you know how to do this. You've been in this situation before. As you said, a little breathing exercise, a little zen. Mindfulness.
Yeah, I agree. It's important. Mental health is important. If you haven't seen LeBron James, little addition on the call map. Soteris right off the inbound. No and one. We want an and one call behind us. It was close. He's going to connect. Downers Grove South down by 2.
Wheeler was straight up, though, not a foul. And Soteris gets to 13 and a steal.
Downers South doing exactly what they said they couldn't do early. Oh, Potter loses it. He's been so good all day, but loses it in a key situation there for the Mustangs. But, as I said, it happens. It's a sport. These are still high school students. And the game's certainly not out of reach.
Yeah, definitely got to recover there. That was an opportunity to tie or take the lead. Nice trap of Cook. Calling a timeout. Smart. And in the wise words of Peyton Manning on the Manning cast of ESPN's Monday Night Football,
wow.
You can't take the timeouts with you. 5 timeouts heading into this fourth quarter for St. Francis. So far they've used 3, got 2 more, and I like that. As we just talked about in the most recent timeout by St. Francis, take your time, breathe a little, continue talking to them. The timeout doesn't penalize you, and if you're going to keep on moving, as long as you have a similar amount of timeouts as your opponent, why not use them? So even if this game goes into overtime, you each get 1 extra timeout. So if you use them all, you still get 1 to talk it over in extra time.
Yeah, and a great job, by the way, we haven't really got to point this out, by Coach Dwyer, maintaining those timeouts throughout the game. I think he came into the fourth quarter with 4 or 5 timeouts, which is big, especially in a game like this. Of course, didn't really have to use it much because St. Francis had jumped out to such a big lead. But I know you talked about it too, wondering why St. Francis hadn't used their timeouts when Downers Grove South was climbing back. Good thing is for a situation like this, when Downers Grove South hasn't only climbed back, they're on the mountain. They're here.
They're here.
They're knocking on the door. So, St. Francis to inbound.
Definitely, but you still got 2 remaining with only a minute 22 seconds left, so we'll definitely look to use if another disaster happens again.
Throws it right to the corner, right back to Ahern. Almost loses it to Mueller. St.Francis to slow it down now. Ahern walling off House. Still some high pressure by Downers South, but not too over-aggressive. Don't want to foul.
Definitely, now that you're so close to the double bonus, where no matter what, it's an automatic 2 shots. And another timeout here as St. Francis.
Man, that was as visible a frustration as I've ever seen from a coach in Zach Miller. Understandably, too, because I'm not going to lie, Coach Dwyer looked like he just called a timeout. Cook looked like he was about to finish that at the rim. He called a timeout there, so interesting call. Clearly trying to draw something up. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see St. Francis attempt a shot in the next 57 seconds, even if it's maybe an open look.
Definitely, and if I was Downers Grove South, I actually might consider fouling, depending on who has the fan. I would have definitely fouled Mueller over there.
Yes.
He had the ball for a few seconds. Notably, has not been a good free throw shooter over the course of the tournament so far, shooting exactly 4 for 11
Wow.
from the line.
That's something to look forward to, yeah.
And so far today, he's 0 for 2 on free throws, so I would have fouled there or would have told my players to foul there, but I think that's what the frustration was about from Zach Miller. Multiple guys had it in their hands who are poor free throw shooters.
Yeah.
You didn't foul because their expected points when they go to the line is less than 1.
Yeah.
It's less than 1 point, so then if they get 1, that's more than what you expected from them, and then that's still a 3-point game, a 1-possession game, and it's extremely unlikely that they make 2 in comparison to making none.
Yeah, and no foul there. Thought you might get one on Ahern.
Ahern's
Here's
one of the better
Mueller.
ones now.
They're going to foul. Good call, Josh. Nice call.
Thank you.
Right on target. Wow. Well, we were just informed soccer legend Pele has passed away at the age of 82. Condolences to him and his family. One of the greats in not just the sport of soccer, but athletics in general.
One of the greatest humans.
Yes,
Did
truly.
a lot for his village back in Brazil. Great person.
Thank you to my counterpart, Luke Van Hoekelum, running the scoreboard on the stream for informing me, but not something you want to find out about.
Mueller makes the first. Right there, misses the second. 3-point game.
Here we go.
As we said.
Here we go. Didn't think we'd be in this situation after that first half, but here we are. Oh, tough shot by Svateris. No. Not something you would think is the best look.
Yeah,
oh, and
quick
here
long
comes
two.
the Spartans. Ahern connects. Lead grows to 5. Mustangs have to move it quick now.
Look for a quick shot. This is the opposite of a quick shot.
Cannot take a 2 here. Oh, man. That's game. That's probably going to be your game, folks. Mueller gets fouled. Wow.
Very disappointing. A couple of offensive possessions there from Downers Grove South. The first one was a longer than expected possession that ends in a long 2. At that point, just step back to the 3-point line.
Yep.
It's arguably the same percentage, if not worse, because at this point in basketball's evolution, more players are practicing threes and layups at such a high clip, they aren't even really practicing those mid-range shots. So, and it's not like the Svateris twins have been very good at that today.
Yeah.
Or Svateris brothers. But Mueller misses the first, and as we said earlier, 36% from the line, not doing too hot tonight either.
If he misses this, no. So you would think this game is likely out of reach. A 6-point lead now for the Spartans. You need a quick 3, and then maybe put Mueller back at the free throw line. House can't take a 2. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure.
Especially when you're down 6. I would get it if you're down 5. You need a 2 and a 3 to tie. And that's probably what you're looking for at this point because you have the momentum in your hands in the second half, outscoring St. Francis by 9 or 10 points, depending on how this game ends up finishing. But at that point, it would have been outscoring them by 12, so you have all the momentum in your hands. Go to OT, get it done in OT as you're currently outplaying the Spartans, but then But then he makes it, and you're down 6. You need 2 threes either way. That just made it now no different to being a 2-possession game, and that's what matters, you know. Possessions aren't typically talked about a ton in basketball as it's a timed-based game, not necessarily a possession-based game like baseball or football, where it's very clear offense and defense, but possessions matter because you can only score up to 3 points, barring and 1 3, but typically, and especially with how good of a coach Aaron Dewar is, he's going to be telling his guys don't foul on a 3 so they don't have a chance to score 4 here. But, you know, we saw that mistake yesterday in the Wheaton North Batavia game going into the end of first overtime.
A Jack Tosh classic, by the way. In case you haven't watched that and you want to sit back,
Watch
get
a
a better
wonderful game.
Watch a wonderful game. That game went in double overtime. Your Conant, one team wins on a buzzer in overtime. I'm not going to say who in case you're legitimately thinking about watching, but St. Francis going to dribble it out here probably. They're going to go to the line, but 4-point lead here with 4.2 left.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going back to watch that Batavia-Wheaton North game. One of my favorite games I've ever watched. It was a lot of fun, high-paced offenses who both try hard, and big players stepped up in big moments and had a few great games.
First one can't connect.
I mean, St. Francis is letting Downers Grove North not necessarily back into this game. As you said, that's probably game with that rebound there a couple possessions ago, but they're just not converting on their free throws. 5-point game here.
A quick 3 could make this possible, and that's it. Yikes.
Yeah. 1.7 remaining. And as we said, York takes on a very, very good St. Patrick's team with a Hall of Fame head coach and Mike Bailey. 29 of 32 seasons winning for the we're winning seasons for the Shamrocks. Looking forward to it again. The Dukes, as you said, kind of coming into their own now. Great game against Bolingbrook and a great win against Conant. A very good team and a very good program out there in the Hoffman Estates area. And we'll see how that one plays out. Stay right here, starting at 1:30 between the Dukes and the Shamrocks. Right here on York Sports Network in the Campbell Gym. Our good friend sticking with us, Charlie Specht, and adding on Brian Grant for that one. Sure to have a great time.
Yeah, if you've tuned into some games today, you're probably familiar with my voice. But today in the Campbell, St. Francis takes down Downers Grove South 54-49. I'm Charlie Specht.
And I'm Joshua Melvin.
Thank you for tuning in, guys.